news release from Overtime Heroics MMA. I'm here this morning with one championship lightweight superstar, Pieter Buist. How's things with you, mate?
I'm blessed. Training hard. A little bit more resting time because of the corona. So, but we train hard. Still train hard. Try to train 2 times a day. So.
Yeah, definitely. It's all a bit awkward at the moment, with the training. How was the training affected you? Were you able to train from home, or is there a facility you're able to use?
Luckily, we have some private gyms to train with a selective group. So we have some secret training sessions. And if we can't train the inside, we train outside. So there's always a way to improve. So you need to be flexible and think. And yeah, it's not fun. It's different than usual, but we get the job done. So
making the most of a bad situation.
Yeah.
Obviously, quite an impressive record, 17-4. Currently riding an 8-fight win streak, which is what's put you in the top 5 in the lightweight division. What was your thoughts on the rankings coming out for that? Because there's been sort of mixed reception on people's views on the rankings. Did you feel it was a fair representation, or did you sort of feel that it could have been a bit better?
Yeah, no, it's they have a different kind of they have all kind of people's opinion made the ranking. So from MMA junkie till Shadok, so everybody has put their own opinion in it, and they made a ranking from that. But if you look at the Apology, for example, I'm the highest ranked lightweight fighter in one, even higher than Lucri. I forget his name. I don't know how to pronounce his name. But the Italian guy who's fighting Christian Lee. I'm higher ranked on Topology, for example. In Asia, I'm number 1 ranked lightweight fighter, and in Europe, I'm number 2. I think number 2. So I'm higher than everyone, but I don't care about rankings, to be honest. I'm just like, hey, who's next, and then the challenge is the same and the money is the same, so I don't care.
Just go out there and do your thing.
Yeah.
Last time out, you fought Follow Yang on 2 weeks' notice. What was your experience with that fight? Because a 2-week camp to start with isn't ideal. But to go against one of the top guys at one, and then to come out victorious, that was quite a feat on your half, really.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm always training. Everybody knows that, but I'm always training, always improving, always becoming better, and always try to be ready for those kind of situations. Because I truly believe great opportunities don't come often. So you have to be ready for them, especially in this sport. Your career is always small and not long term. So you always need to be ready. So I was ready for this fight, but I was like, whoa, what? When they called me, because my youngest son just was born on the 4th of January. So I enjoyed some resting time, but it was good for me because my 2 fights before Edward, I was a little bit overtrained. I'm always, addicted to training, addicted to becoming better. So I'm always training. So my last 6, 7 fights, when I fought on Friday, for example, on Monday I was already in the gym, becoming better. But when my son was born, I had to take, the training session a little bit less than normal, and it was good for me. I felt great. I didn't feel the pressure. Luckily, I have a lot of experience with fighting, so for me, it's like, okay, another opportunity. I'd never make a big deal of things. So for me, it's a Dutch kind of way. We always like, yeah, he has two arms, two legs, one head. Let's do this.
Yeah, you just touched on the Dutch way. Obviously, over the years, there's been some top fighters come from Netherlands. Yourself, Overeem getting the win last night.
Yeah.
What do you put that down to? I mean, because kickboxing in particular, I mean, the Dutch seem to really have that knack on producing top quality fighters.
Yeah, I think we are always down to earth. If you see sometimes people win a champion belt, for example, the whole city, celebrates it. In Holland, it's like, we have a saying in Holland, just do normal, that's crazy enough. So when you win a title or a big fight, people are like, oh yeah, congratulations. But what's next? We always like, what's next? So for example, we fight on Friday at 1, and then on Saturday in the airplane we're already talking about what is next, what we're gonna do, what we should have done better, those kind of things. So I think that's a Dutch way. We never celebrate too much. It's normal to celebrate one day, but the next day people are always like, okay, yeah, Friday you're a champion. So if, for example, if I win the champion belt on Friday, on Friday you're a champion. On Saturday, you're you're not anymore. So we're always improving. Try to stay humble. Like I said, we have a saying: act normal is crazy enough. So I think that's a real strong thing in Holland. We don't have stardom here. Yeah, some fighters have, but most of the fighters they are just normal people. Try to make a earnest living, and we do what we love to do. And I think that's the power of this country. I think.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously you see your children in the video. What's it like juggling being a father and obviously focusing on such an in-demand career?
Awesome, awesome. When I grew up without a father, so my mother and my father divorced when I was 3 or 4. So I never had that example, uh, yeah, as a dad. Now I'm, for example, a couple of before the Corona crisis, I dropped my older son, in school, and his friends and all the children on school were like, "Whoa, you're Peter Buist! Oh, you're awesome! I saw your fight!" And I was like, "Yeah." It's I never had that kind of things. Now my son can be proud of me. My both of my sons. So
Yeah, cool father.
yeah, and it's a great motivation. Some fighters get demotivated when they become a father. They're like, no, it's too dangerous. I have to do something else. But for me, when my first son was born, I was like, the fire was already big, but then it's like somebody threw some gasoline on it, and I'm like, no, I have to succeed. I have to, I have to provide. I have to become a great example. I can't screw this up anymore because yeah, I have now a big responsibility, and especially now with two. Now I have two children. Now I have the responsibility is a lot bigger. We have a mortgage. We have the world's looking at you. So yeah, for me it's a truly blessing, and I have a real goal now because before I was a fighter, you know, you're a young guy. Your goal is to make money and win fights. It's easy, but now I really have a goal in life, and that's providing for my family and be an example for the world.
Yeah, I mean that's an amazing thing. I as a father myself, I can't see any greater motivation than
Yeah,
wanting to make your children proud. Um, Spoke in our previous interview. Obviously, you've mentioned about the unfortunate situation of your mother and father divorcing at the young age. Previously, we spoke about that you went through a situation where you was homeless.
yeah.
Can you speak a bit on that? How you sort of got out of that situation, and how you sort of used that maybe to fuel where you are now.
Yeah, because my mother was a single mom of with two children, and and she was on welfare, and yeah, so and we also lived in one of the toughest neighborhoods in Holland with a lot of criminality, drug problems, and yeah, a lot of poor people around us. So it was a bad situation for three boys to grow up in, and yeah, you start doing dumb things. Luckily for me, I started doing kickboxing at the early age of 12, and then yeah, I never had a life goal. You know, a lot of children had a person in their life that they look up to, but I didn't have that. And so a lot of people were like, yeah, for me it was like, yeah, what should I do in life? And I always liked Bruce Lee, Dragon Ball Z, and those kind of things. And I wanted to be a martial artist. So I still remember when we were on school, we had a job day. So you have to fill in a form, and from that form you can choose a job for later. And I filled in that I want to be a martial artist. So my teacher told me, no, you have to do something with a diploma, and I was like, fuck no, man, I want to be a fighter, you know. And then, but I always thought that if you want to be a full-time martial artist, come on, and my son wants to play on the television. And then, then you have to be an actor because all the martial artists I knew, like Jean-Claude Van Damme, all those kind of people, were actors, and Bruce Lee also. So I thought I had to be an actor, and I was like, no, I don't want to be an actor. But then, as I remember, one time was in the year 2000. I snuck down from upstairs to down, and then I saw Ernesto Host winning the K1, and he got a big belt, and crown, and a check of $400,000, and the announcer like, he gets a check of $400,000 from sponsorship deals, and I was like, whoa, what the fuck? So immediately start training. Then I heard that in our city, I already knew there was Golden Glory and Meng Ho. Those are one of the biggest gyms in the world. So I already knew they were in my city, but I never knew that there were such a big fighters training there. So I asked my mother for, Ma, please, I want to be a fighter and become the best. And my mother says, okay. So I started training at Meng Ho. And then the first training I started with the normal people, like these, yeah, the normal people. And my trainer at the first training, he said, man, you're really a talented fighter. So do you want to join the fighting team? I was like, what the fuck? So I called my mother from the gym. Ma, they asked me if I can join the fighting team at my first training. So I did the normal training, and then the same day I did the fighter team training. And then I talked with the trainer at the time, Kees Bezens was his name, and he gave me the form that I should fill in, and then I gave it to my mother, and it was €50, I think, €50 or 40. I don't remember exactly. But my mother said, yeah, sorry, son, but that's too expensive for us. So, yeah, I was like, fuck, man. The first time in my life, I found something that I was good at, and now we can't afford it. So, I went to the gym, and I told the trainer, like, yeah, sorry, sir, but we can't afford this. And then we made a deal, and the deal was the trainer at the time, he had a boxing ring rental company, and he told me if I join him every weekend to a event and build up the boxing rings, I can train for free and fight for free. So I made a deal to train for free and fight for free, but every weekend I had to go to every event in Holland slash Europe. So almost every weekend I fought. So we went to the event in the early mornings. We built up the boxing ring. Then in the evening, we go to the weigh-in. I weigh myself in, and if somebody fall out, they found somebody to fight me. I fought. So sometimes I fought on Saturday and on Sunday. That's why I have a lot of kickboxing fights. But in Holland, that's normal. If you see, for example, Elias Bouraid has more than 100 fights. Uh, Typhoon Oskan has more than 100 fights. Because in Holland, you can fight every week if you want. And yeah, so that's how I build up my fighting resume. But eventually, I become older. Uh, I was, getting a little bit in trouble on the street. School wasn't going that well, and in Holland we have a rule when you live with somebody who's on welfare, and when you are 21 or 22, then the government sees you as a grown-up guy, and then they cut the welfare from the person that you live with. So my mother was in a situation, yeah, she had to kick me out of house to keep her welfare and keep her home. So yeah, that's how I become homeless, and yeah, I start doing dumb things. And when I was homeless, I slept a couple of weeks outside on people's couches. And my best friend, I call him my brother. His mother heard that I was sleeping on the street, so she took me in and took care of me. That's why I call her Ma. And then I remember I was sitting on the bed of my girlfriend. She was living at her parents' place, and then I remember I cried a little bit because yeah, I wanted to become a fighter. My school wasn't going bad. I couldn't pay my bills, so for example, my insurance was behind. I was making debts because of that. My fighting career wasn't going as well because I only did kickboxing, but I never wanted to do kickboxing for real. And then I remember I was sitting on my girlfriend's bed, a little bit crying, feeling sorry for myself, and then I'm a religious guy, so I start praying. I'm like, okay, I have to change my life. So I looked at people who were successful in life, and they all have a couple of things in common. And one thing that they have in common is that they all have a game plan in life. So so I started making a plan for my life. So for example, finish my school, graduate, get a diploma, find a job that suits my training resume, and so on and so on. But most important thing that I changed was doing what I love to do, and that was MMA because I always wanted to do MMA instead of kickboxing. Because yeah, when I started looking at fights, I looked at Genki Sudo, all those kind of people, and I really loved MMA because I noticed in kickboxing that I'm a complete fighter, so I needed to do ground things. I'm an athletic fighter, so MMA suits me more. Then I start doing those things and start to take my life more serious and more positive. And yeah, and then I finished my school. I found a job as a garbage man to provide myself. and so sorry. And yeah, with garbage man, I could train. I could take a day off when I need to. It was very, very handy for my training regime. So yeah, then I became a garbage man for 8 years, and I told myself, okay, I work and I train. So sometimes I wake up on 6 o'clock, went to work 8 o'clock. I worked then till 12 o'clock in the morning. From then we have a lunch break. From the lunch break, and during the lunch break, I went to the gym because the gym was almost 10 minutes from my work. I trained in my lunch break. The garbage truck picked me up. After the lunch break, I eat my lunch after the training in the garbage truck. Finish my work, and then in the evening I train again. So I always try to find a way to make the best out of the situation. And then yeah, I paid off my debts. Uh, I bought a house when it was going better. I worked less, less than normal because I didn't have any debts anymore, so I could train more and work less. And then me and my girlfriend bought a house. Then I became a champion, and then again a champion. And then 2 years ago, there was a tournament from WFL. It's owned by Melvin Manouf, and it was broadcast on Spike TV. And the winner, it was a lightweight tournament from the best European lightweights in one tournament, and the winner gets a Bellator contract. And then I entered the tournament, and I eventually won the tournament. And then I got a Bellator contract, but the negotiations with Bellator were slow, and it was like, man, I really need to have a contract because I need money to pay my bills. And then my manager is also the manager of Andy Sauer, and he told me, he called me up one day and said, "Where are you?" I'm like, I'm at home. So he came to my home, and he put a paper on the table, and it was the one championship contract. And it's like, whoa, shit. And then we got a call from some people, and they told us that the UFC is also interested, but it was all talks, no things. The only organization that came up with a contract immediately was one. So I signed the contract, and now the rest is history.
Yeah, it's that sort of lifestyle that's giving you the dedication, really, isn't it? Because obviously, it's an easy situation to come through, and as you say, like the training, eating your lunch in the garbage van. Certain people wouldn't even think of going to them lengths to create a career themselves.
Yeah.
To finish off, then, as we said, you're obviously on an 8-fight win streak. You've not lost since 2016, I believe it is. As you said, during that time, you won the WFL belt, you won the tournament, been signed up by one, and you've already said that you plan on being one lightweight champion with 2021.
Yeah.
If you could pick the opponent now for that championship fight, who would it be?
I think it will be against Christian Lee, because Christian Lee is now fighting Lupris. I really don't know how to pronounce his name, but and Lupris is 14-0, but there's a big but. If you look at this record, his only worthy opponent. It was his last opponent. The rest are all people with a negative record, like for example 2-6, those kind of things, So he has a really build-up record. And Christian Lee is he's young, but he isn't a joke. And I think Christian Lee will beat him when they fight. I think they will be fighting at the end of June, I think, and then we will see. In the meantime, I think I will fight somebody else before the fight. So I don't know who. because Eddie Alvarez is fighting the Turkish guy, and I think Shin Aoki maybe will fight the guy from Russia. I think. So the number 5 will fight number 4, and the number 2 will fight Eddie Alvarez. So, and the number 1 will fight Christian Lee. So for me, I got a couple of people who called me out, Amir Khan and a Japanese guy also. So I think maybe the Japanese guy will be, because he has a win streak of 2 or 3, I think. I have to look up what his name is. Let me check first, real quick. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot his name from the Japanese guy, but we will see. To be honest, I really don't care. I always say that when he has 2 legs, 2 arms, 1 head, and if he isn't God or Jesus Christ, I can beat him. So I really don't care who it is. Just let me fight. Give me a date, a place. I already proved that I really don't care who I'm fighting. I'm always coming for the finish and always coming for the win. So
it's great to see. Well, look, Peter, I've really appreciate you taking the time this morning. Obviously, a busy man, being a dad as well. So I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I want to wish you all the best this year. And I really hope you get that title shot either this year or during 2021.
It will come, trust me. What more do I have to do? I have fought 3 fights and I won. The first one was against a top opponent. The second one was against a undefeated guy who I took also on 3 weeks' notice, and the last one was against the former 2-time champion on 2 weeks' notice. So, no, I'm in a luxury problem. I only have to wait. And if they say they want to fight me, they want to give me somebody else before that, which I prefer. I want to fight. No, I want to stay active. I always like to stay active. So I want to fight somebody else before this, before the championship fight. So we will see what will happen. But I think I will fight when starting doing events in June. I think 5th of June, and you see all around the world the borders are getting open again. Slowly everything starts becoming normal. So we will wait. I'm training. I'm in shape. I'm a little bit heavier than normal, but that's on purpose. Keep my immune system higher because of this virus. So yeah, for me is now waiting, staying in shape, having fun, enjoying life, training hard 2 times a day, and take my rest serious. That was also a problem of me. Waiting, and we will see.
Yeah, well, look, enjoy yourself. Enjoy being your dad now until you get back in that cage. And I hope to speak to you soon, mate.
Yes, you too. Thank you, bro. If I can do something for you, just let me know.
Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate that. Speak to you soon.
Thank you, bro. Yes.